Episode number 2, TH and TC Experience. I'm Tyler Head, otherwise known as TH.
I'm Tyler Cleary, known as TC.
And oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, brother.
So we did an episode last Friday and had no clue what was waiting for us that night on SmackDown. I guess this was WWE's plan all along because I went through the entire weekend perplexed at what I saw on SmackDown because it appeared Cody Rhodes just voluntarily handed over his WrestleMania main event spot to The Rock. But at the same time, she's like, I'm going to take everything from you, Roman, but not at WrestleMania. And I think everybody collectively was just like, what the hell is this? And we had no clarification on that. And then on Monday, he comes out on Raw, gives no further clarification on that. We'll just start there before we get into what happened yesterday. Like, I don't, they got our attention. I'll say that much.
I think, honestly, just a lot of the backlash came up. So it's just like how Daniel Bryan's thing back in 2014 was.
Well, and I've read so much speculation on what was planned, what was not planned. Like, part of me feels like they had a plan, they saw the backlash, and they changed it. Part of me thinks this was the plan all along because they knew people would respond a certain way to it.
Well, what ruined the plan was when Punk got hurt. That's what ruined the plan. When Punk hurt his shoulder because I think it was supposed to be Punk win the Royal Rumble and then have Cody win the Elimination Chamber. Because I don't think Rock was supposed to be in the main event, but I don't know, man.
But the rumors of him being involved in WrestleMania have actually been floating around for a while. So I feel like I don't think this was like a last minute type of thing. I feel like this has been planned for a while, but it's just like, I can't tell if they meant to do this charade of going 7 different ways from the get-go, or if it was like, oh crap, people are really not responding to this the way that we thought they would. Maybe we need to change course here.
But you think this way too, though. Like the plan was honestly going to be maybe triple threat with Roman, Cody, and The Rock at WrestleMania. But the night one main event was supposed to be CM Punk against Seth Rollins.
Well, and let's just get this out of the way now. The Rock does not need to be wrestling in WrestleMania main events. The man, the last time he and Cena wrestled, he hurt his hip and his shoulder. Or his shoulder and had to delay whatever movie he was filming at that point in time. Like, he can't go, the 20, 30 minutes that you need for a WrestleMania main event.
I think it was Steamboat Willie was the movie. It was, the great cinema classic Steamboat Willie.
But here's the thing. Like, we've come to expect a certain standard of main event match at WrestleMania. Let's Rock and wrestling each other. But
Brock, like you said, Brock and Roman. But, I mean, I think Drew's getting the short end of the stick of the whole situation now.
Well,
I think that.
So I feel like there's a path with Drew and the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense to me. But at the same time, and we'll kind of tie in what happened yesterday at the press conference where Cody reestablished he's going after the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
Insulted the bloodline. So now it seems like The Rock and Roman are siding together now. And I don't like, is that going to set up a tag team match at WrestleMania with Cody and Seth?
I don't think it'll be WrestleMania. I think that they will have like a maybe a SmackDown before. Like, remember it was the WrestleMania rematch tag team at Backlash with Batista and Undertaker and John Cena and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, but
I think that's how they're going to kind of play it.
But this is also The Rock. I don't think he's going to randomly wrestle on an episode of SmackDown. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying he's going to do a lot of work to the SmackDown. I'm just saying that, like, what makes sense to me, there's no point of putting that as a main event night one because it makes sense because Rollins is hurt. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if you look at Seth Rollins' body of work, it has to be a title match for Rollins. It can't just be some random tag team and Rollins is just happy with that,
Yeah, and that's the confusing part because it's like, okay, well, you could theoretically main event night one with that, and then you could have the 2 championship matches on Sunday with Drew going after the World Heavyweight Championship or something. And if Rollins has said that he's good to go for WrestleMania, but if he's still like limited where he can't, work 25 minutes, I mean, you have ways around that. You can make it a short match. You can have a lot of slow spots and whatnot.
I agree to a standpoint, but at WrestleMania, you have an idea that's the pay-per-view all year.
Yeah.
That's our hell. After that's their off season for a night. That's our off season.
Right.
As WrestleMania is when you either take off or you come back,
right,
or you contract ends. One of the two.
Yeah.
Or one of the three. Excuse me. But if you think about it this way, what they honestly should do. I know that Rock and Roman's not set to be Elimination Chamber, but that's where you'd want to have that match as Elimination Chamber match. Have it at the pay-per-view.
But like now that they're like on each other's side, I guess would a match with them, because like that's what we never truly, because again, all this has happened in the past 7 days. So, Cody seemingly gives up his spot. Rock comes out there and they just stare at each other and SmackDown goes off there. So
he didn't give up his spot. He gave up Roman.
Well, at the time, it appeared that he gave up his spot. So that's what I'm going back to is like, okay, we never even got, even with the press conference yesterday, before The Rock and Roman really kind of got into whatever that match was theoretically going to be, Cody comes out and that it all goes sideways. So like, I don't even know what the basis and the point of Rock versus Roman would have been if it was going to happen from a story.
At the table, it would have been head of the table. Who is the leader of the bloodline? That's what it would have been.
I guess.
Because think like Fatu, like it would have been every ancestor. Because there's only been, I think, 3 people in that whole family that have been a world champion in the WWE.
Yeah.
Umaga wasn't a world champion.
No.
Rikishi was not a world champion.
No. The belt wouldn't fit around him.
Hey, fuck you. Who else? What's lie? No. What's his name? He was Japanese. He said he was Japanese.
Oh, Yokozuna.
So in the grand scheme of things, the only people who have been world champion have been Yokozuna, The Rock,
and Roman.
And there's one more, the Fatu. The grandfather
was he a champion?
Was it? I think it was WWE. I think it was WWF. It was The Rock's grandfather, the High Chief, Peter Maivia.
Oh, okay.
But out of the whole bloodline, there's only been 4 world champions in the WWF,
right?
Or WWE or WWF or how you want to say
it. In professional wrestling.
Yes, but it's funny because the 2 that were world champion is now the grandfather of. Oh, I think it's the father of of Roman.
I look that bloodline tree
it's a lot.
There's a lot going on. I know Rocky Johnson is The Rock's dad. Yeah. I know Ava Raine is his daughter. I know that Jimmy and Jay are Rikishi's sons.
Yeah,
and that
Roman's their uncle.
What's that? Yeah, Roman's their uncle because his brother is former Rosie from 3 Minute Warning.
Yeah. Wow, what a toss bag. Okay.
And then Umaga, who is Jamal in 3 Minute Warning, brothers with Rikishi, so he's the uncle of Jimmy was the uncle of Jimmy and Jay, R.I.P.
Yeah.
And again, there's 10 trillion of the. And you know what's really funny is I feel like every 2 weeks I get on the internet and I see another like Fatu or Hawaii that is like in an independent circuit somewhere, and it's like here comes another one.
Well, they have that. It's in Miami territory, but it's the Samoan hit line or Samoan hit list or something like that. Samoan. I don't know the name of it, but I mean it has not Rikishi's son, Umaga's son.
Yeah,
that boy's bad, dude.
I've seen his stuff. He's good. If you're born Samoan, you can already wrestle. Like that's
Samoa Joe. I mean,
you can. You know what's funny? Samoa Joe's actually not Samoan.
I know, it's crazy.
And Roman's real name is actually Joe, so he's technically Samoa Joe. But if you're born Samoan, you can wrestle and play football. Like, even without trying, you're going to be good at those two things.
Yeah. Oh man, but
but anyway, getting back to the point,
I like that point.
well, I mean, you make a good point that if Rock and Roman did happen, if theoretically is, hey, who is the head of the table, who's the highest in the bloodline, blah 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 blah. But it seems like it's going to go in the direction of those two defending their family now after Cody said their ancestors would be ashamed and got slapped by the Rock. So those two seem to be on a side. So I don't think we're getting that match at this point in time.
The thing is that Cody said for Roman, he didn't say the Rock be disrespected, be ashamed. That's why I didn't get the slap, because he didn't call the Rock. He didn't say to the Rock. He said it to Roman.
He said your ancestor. He said Roman's great grandfather, and then he said Rock's great grandfather, the High Chief, would both be. So I mean, theoretically, he was talking to both of them.
See, I don't think he's talking to Rock, because he didn't like. I don't know. I saw the heel turn coming when he came out in that tight ass tank top. I mean,
well, and
he looked like a heel.
Earlier in the day, he was on the Pat McAfee show and called the fans Cody Crybabies. So, which by the way,
great show too. By the way,
look, the Rock is a great baby face and with his catchphrase and all that kind of stuff. But he's really good at being a bad guy.
Yeah, he's the best heel.
And if he's theoretically going to be on Roman's side through this build up to WrestleMania, I'm here for it. I think it's going to be very entertaining.
I just don't think. I think it's just like how. Remember when Batista came back, and it was Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
He won the Royal Rumble and all that.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you look like 2 months into that storyline, Batista turned heel. It was he said that Daniel Bryan shouldn't be a wrestler. He's too small.
Right.
It's the same storyline again, except and also with that evolution, the family aspect.
I'll say this: it's similar, but there was never any. The original plan did not include Daniel Bryan in that. They legitimately wanted Batista and Randy Orton to main event that WrestleMania, and the crowds just took over every show to where they couldn't ignore it, and they put Daniel Bryan in, and obviously ended up being a great, success story, the S movement, all that kind of stuff. Like this. While they wanted to make us feel like that's what they were doing here, this seems to be all premeditated. Like, okay, we're going to make people think that Cody's not in the main event. They're going to go crazy and we want Cody hashtag and all that kind of stuff. And then that's going to create more hype for somebody that's already, at the top of the card anyway. But this one seems a little bit more strategic. And I say this because on Raw on Monday, Michael Cole was directly acknowledging what people were saying in the crowd. We want Cody, screw the Rock, all that kind of stuff. Normally, and again, it's a little bit different now that Triple H is in charge, not Vince McMahon. Normally, if the crowd was going against what they were trying to sell, they wouldn't acknowledge it.
Yeah. I agree to his standpoint. But I mean, when the Cody came back, he was coming back to be the guy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like that was, I mean, besides AJ Styles, what wrestler has came from another organization and can say the exact same character, even AJ didn't get the same music, but kept the same music.
Yep.
He's the only person in the history of that company to have everything stay exactly the same that he was in AEW.
Yeah. Well,
he is the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, a bona fide main eventer.
And he made, McMahon promise him that when he came in, that nothing was going to change and that people were getting Cody Rhodes that they knew from all over the world at that point in time. But I think about this, and look, Triple H, very smart, he's been in the wrestling business for a long time. And you're right, Cody has, been at the top of the company since he's come back 2 years ago now. But he's a guy that, okay, he does not quite have the same mainstream recognition as a Rock or a Stone Cold or even a John Cena has. He's close.
He's not held a world title yet.
Well, and that's part of it. But a lot of people know the name Cody Rhodes, right? So when you think about WrestleMania, which again is the most viewed show of the year, where you have the most people interested in wrestling at this point in time, if you set this up this past Friday where it seems like, oh, Cody Rhodes, he's getting screwed and whatever by the company, right? That's the narrative that they wanted you to come away with it, to where you have these hashtags. George Kittle was asked about it this week leading up to the Super Bowl. Like, hey, you're a wrestling fan. What do you think? And he's saying we want Cody. Like, it crossed over into the mainstream, which brought more eyes to wrestling, in addition to having The Rock there too. So I feel like it's accomplishing the goal that they're setting out for it to accomplish. Like, you're drawing in a lot of people are like, hey, what's happening to Cody Rhodes? Like, I haven't watched wrestling in a couple of years. Like, I hear he's a big deal. What's going on here? Like, you're getting casual eyes on your product by creating this quote unquote controversy.
See, the only thing that I'm worried about when it comes to that controversy idea, if it is a triple threat match, right?
I don't think it'll be a triple threat match.
But, hear me out. Yeah,
okay.
But if it is a triple threat match and Cody beats The Rock, he pins The Rock, there's still story to be told after the fact of that matter. But I feel like the story has to end, or at least give Cody his flowers at WrestleMania. It has to be Cody pins Roman. He has to pin Roman.
He does have to pin Roman. The thing about when you have a long title reign like this, and I'll even say this for Gunther as well, who is, who is approaching 2 years as Intercontinental Champion. Whoever beats Gunther as the new Intercontinental Champion, let's just say it's Chad Gable, right? That is going to elevate Chad Gable to the freaking moon by beating somebody that's held a title for 2 years. So when you talk about who's going to beat Roman Reigns, that's why it was so crazy last year when Cody did not beat him, because it's like, well, who's going to do it now? And like for a period of time, maybe it was going to be Jey Uso. That obviously kind of came and went. But whoever pins Roman Reigns either already has to be a top star or somebody that is going to get shot to the moon with a push.
Well, it's the Taker effect. It's the streak.
Sure.
So now that Lesnar is no longer a part of the company, the rest of history, right?
Yeah.
The next person to beat Undertaker at WrestleMania was Roman Reigns.
That's true.
So, and ever since he beat the Undertaker, he went on kind of a in-between heel babyface kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then he came back as the Tribal Chief. So I think the last who pinned Roman Reigns was Jey Uso, Baron Corbin, Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
And
that's just the last one. Think about.
Isn't that weird? Eric Rowan.
Well, remember that it was, I guess it was the Corbin feud, the dumb dog food stuff that they were doing, and that was a low point for storytelling.
I mean, look who also was booking it too, though. I mean, it was Vince booking, but now that is the case, though. I mean, Roman has the next streak. Roman has the. I don't know his record at WrestleMania. I know he's probably like 3 and.
Hold on. Let's go through this here. So, 2014 was his first WrestleMania, I believe, with the Shield. They had a triple threat, and they beat the New Age Outlaws and Big Corporate Kane in a 6-man tag. 2015, obviously, is when Seth cashes in, so loses that one. 2016 is when he beat Triple H at WrestleMania in Dallas. 2017, he beats The Undertaker. 2018, he loses to Brock. 2019, he sat that one out because of leukemia. Wasn't there in 2020 because of COVID. 2021 is when he beat Edge and Daniel Bryan in the triple threat. 2022, he
was Brock, right?
Beat Brock and the biggest main event ever. Stupid.
Hey, but the tractor was cool though.
The what?
The tractor underneath the ring and pull the ring up.
But that was SummerSlam. That was SummerSlam.
Oh, it was WrestleMania.
That was SummerSlam. Because the SummerSlam match was last man standing because it was supposed to be the last time Brock and Roman ever faced each other after they faced 87,000 times on pay-per-view. Now that Brock Lesnar doesn't exist anymore in the WWE's mind, probably is the last time they ever faced. So I guess he's never been pinned at WrestleMania. No, because Brock beat him in 2018. 18. Okay, so
Yeah, he got slung around 2018.
he's only been pinned once at WrestleMania because did Seth pin Brock in 2015 when he cashed in? I think he did.
I don't know. Look that up.
So regardless, he's only lost twice in 10 years. And again, he's been dominant as of late. Which, by the way, you mentioned Eric Rowan. You kind of look like him with that beard.
I got hair, brother.
That's
yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I want to see who did. Who and yeah, he pinned Roman.
Okay, so Roman's been beaten twice, but again, that was years ago. Yeah, I mean, trying to end his 1,300 days, something like that, long run as the champion. Like that is theoretically for now. Like, but here's the thing: it's not going to last for another 20 years, like the Undertaker streak or whatever. Like, it's most likely going to end this year.
I was watching What Culture the other day, and they were talking about his image now. Like, his beard's not as trimmed.
Yeah,
he's got gray in his beard now. Because before, remember when he first came back,
mm-hmm.
he was getting cut every day. It was a constant. Like, but it's such a great storytelling effect, though.
Sure,
it's showing the stress. It's showing the worry. It's showing, and also speaking of the press conference, The Rock was basically talking for Roman. He was becoming the head of the table, like how Jay would do, or how Roman would do to Jay and Jimmy. Not to Solo though.
Like well, and that's something that I noticed afterwards when you have the bit where Triple H is being interviewed backstage and The Rock comes in. So I said, "Oh, better tell him, and I'll smack his teeth out or whatever." He's walking ahead of Roman, and Roman's following behind him. So you do have that dynamic of like, is The Rock taking control, and is there going to be some kind of internal struggle between those two if we are building towards a tag team match, or if Rock's just going to be in his corner or whatever this may be?
I'll tell you this right now. The perfect way to like add some extra fire to this whole idea is it let Dustin be there. I
think his AEW deal is actually about to end, funny enough.
I'm just saying, like have it be down Dallas Page, have it be the same crew he had when he walking out with him when he fought Chris Jericho for the AEW title.
Yeah,
like have the Nightmare Family be there. I don't know they call it still Nightmare Family WWE, but like let that be the same mindset, and because Roman's gonna have the whole family with him.
Sure,
he's gonna walk out with the lay on him. Sure. His father, every single probably Samoan in his family.
Yeah.
Let Cody come out, and as soon as they say more than one royal family, have everyone lined up has their last name Rhodes.
I was going to say maybe we could get Ted DiBiase Jr., but I'm pretty sure he's in jail. So
I think he is. Yeah, we can get Pharaoh though.
Yeah,
freak out of the fireworks.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I do think I don't think Cody walks into WrestleMania alone. I'll say that much because that which by the way, like. I'll be very glad when Roman finally loses the title because we're just doing the same thing over and over again where it's like, oh, he's looking vulnerable. Hey, guess what? Here comes Solo to, do the Samoan spike and hand him the win.
The reason I say the triple threat, though, it would be a kind of a good idea and a bad idea because what is Solo going to do? What is Jimmy going to do if it's The Rock, Roman, and Cody?
Ooh.
Like, because think about it. It could be, Roman says, hey, super kick. Hey, spike him. Hey, and it's The Rock.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That actually brings up an interesting point because I feel like Roman needs to get pinned when he loses the title.
100%.
However, if you want to keep this aura about him, even without the title, if you do a triple threat, let Cody pin The Rock. And then, so here's the thing. Roman goes away for a while, right?
Yeah.
he's furious that he lost the title, can't believe it, and we'll have a situation where Solo ends up screwing him over or whatever it may be, and ends up costing the title, whatever. He goes away. Let's say he comes back at SummerSlam. You can still have the same type of character without the title if he doesn't get pinned.
But if he doesn't get pinned, it blows the whole fact because then Cody just got lucky. That's all they got to say.
No, because he's still winning the title. Which here's the thing.
It's not just the title though.
But here's the thing. The main point of finishing the story is winning the title.
I agree.
It's not necessarily I have to pin Roman to win it.
I agree until that press conference. I agree until he said you were unrelevant just like your father. When as soon as he said that, it's more than just the title. It's more than just Cody winning. Yeah. Now it's personal. Now it's a family affair. Rock said there's only one royal family in professional wrestling. Just to fucking spit in Cody's face and allegedly. Like, now it has to be Roman. Roman has to get pinned. It can't be The Rock. As much as I agree with you to the standpoint, I think it'd be great. Let him come back. Let him be deranged. Let his hair grow out to the gray in his hair. 100%. I agree.
Okay.
But when it comes to finishing the story now, it's not just Cody's story anymore.
Yeah.
It's not Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns. Right. Now it's the Fatu bloodline and the the Rhodes family. It's like how when they first met.
Yeah.
When Cody and Dustin and Dusty fought the Shield.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you bring up a good point. Which, like, again,
you surprised?
No. This is clearly showing that WWE is doing a very good job of keeping us interested because we don't know which way this is going to go. I mean, Triple H is going to open up SmackDown in like 30 minutes, and we'll get maybe some kind of clarification there. But this is taking a step back. This is exactly the kind of thing you love to see building up to WrestleMania
100%.
Because this can go 12 different ways, and I would believe all of them. But it's going to keep me locked in every single week.
I'm telling you right now, they have to figure out how to do Elimination Chamber. Like, Cody Rhodes has to do something in Elimination Chamber to allow himself to get that last little bit of huzzah. You know what I'm saying? Because he's already there. Like, he's here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just The Rock's right here.
Yeah. Well, you better do a quick Elimination Chambers in 2 weeks.
If they do this, I think it's going to be a great idea. I think this would be the best idea they possibly can do. But they probably won't do it because of money.
Yeah.
Have Cody face The Rock for the right to Roman at WrestleMania. Hear me out.
Okay.
But have it to be either a draw, a DQ, or some kind of screwy finish or double count out, whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Because then Roman is still strong, but Cody goes from right here to right here. Because The Rock cannot beat Cody Rhodes. You know damn sure Roman cannot beat Cody Rhodes. They're all on the same level. The story's right there. Roman's still strong. Cody comes in stronger, and The Rock is still The Rock. I know it's lazy a little bit, but
I like your idea. Would they be able to get Rock to fly out to Australia for this, though? That's my question.
He's on the board. He gets money no matter what.
But he's also a busy guy, and that
he's on the board, bro. I know. You honestly think? Take a minute. The Rock's lineage is professional wrestling.
Yep.
His lineage. He has enough money as it is. He's done all these movies. He's done everything. Fast and Furious, Shazam, Black Adam, all those crappy Disney movies he did. Like, he's done all of it. I mean, Ballers is a great TV show. He's been a TV star.
Yeah.
The only way that The Rock can basically, I guess, finalizes his whole idea system, his whole career, is saying, I now am a part of the biggest wrestling corporation in the world. His father got fired by Vince McMahon for skipping out on a tour back in 1974.
Right.
So, but now Vince McMahon is no longer at that company. The Rock can do whatever he wants now. He is on the board.
That's true. Well, again, look, that being said, he still does have other things that he does outside of that.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, but where's the passion at?
Yeah,
He's the only person that ever has his name The Rock.
Yeah,
they gave him the name The Rock. All the licensing, everything.
Yeah, I get it.
He won that shit in 2001.
Yeah,
he did the job to Brock.
Yeah,
think about it. The last person that he did it when he was a full-time superstar was the Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, it's so crazy how it's all connecting.
It is. Yeah, it's insane. Again, this could go a ton of different ways, and I'm here for all of it. Whatever they end up doing is going to be interesting. It's going to be entertaining, which at the end of the day is the most important thing. But I think, and I feel so much better saying this about Triple H than Vince McMahon. Trust the process. We just got to let it see it play out. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, we just got to wait and see what's going to be the end result here. And God, WrestleMania is still almost 2 months away, believe it or not.
This is kind of crazy. I don't know, man. I just think that there's a way to make this the best story in the last 15 years. Well, probably last 7 years. Nothing will ever beat Shawn Michaels Undertaker, the first one they did. Nothing will ever beat that match. Or Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. I will say this. The Bloodline story has been great.
Yeah, but it's gone so long.
Well, here's the thing. And late last year, it just started to get like when Jimmy turned on Jay at was that SummerSlam? I think it was SummerSlam. Like that didn't make any sense. Literally did not make a lick of sense to the point where like, okay, what are we doing? And again, you have the repeated thing every match. Roman's defeated, and then here comes Solo coming in, spiking people, and he retains the title. Like it's coming to its end. You know what I mean? But they have the opportunity to end this thing fantastically. You know what I mean?
My question is to you though: if not Cody, then who?
Nobody. There's literally nobody else that could take the title from him than Cody.
Only person I can think that maybe would be another great vision would be Jay.
But Jay's had 2 opportunities.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
And that's why when Cody didn't win last year, Jay had all that momentum and they faced off. And I was like, okay, I could see this happening and it would make sense. Didn't happen. It's like, okay, Cody's literally the only one that can do this.
I thought Sammy had a pretty good chance to do it, but then I saw Cody and I was like, they're not going to put the belt on Sammy.
If Sammy would have faced him after WrestleMania, I would have believed it. But the fact that they did it at Elimination Chamber, nobody loses the title at Elimination Chamber. Come on.
Not true. No,
most of it. Nobody in that, but Cena had the title back by that WrestleMania anyway. But nobody in the position of Roman Reigns is going to lose the title on a B pay-per-view.
Hold on now. Elimination Chamber was cool back in 2000.
I'm not saying it's not cool, but you have the big 4, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Those are the A tier. Everything else is B tier, and there's
Survivor Series is not A tier anymore, bro.
Okay, now that it's War Games, it is.
I don't know. I don't get the whole Survivor. I never understood the Survivor Series idea. After I think it was like DX versus Rated RKO was the last one that I thought made any sense. The Nexus one was stupid. What was the other one? I get the War Games is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just so overplayed, like brand supremacy. That's not. No one cares.
Well, okay, we can bump Survivor Series down to a B pay-per-view. That's fine, but I'm just saying Roman is going to lose the title at Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, or SummerSlam. There is no exception to that.
Here's a hot take for you. I think Backlash is an A tier.
You think Backlash is an A tier?
I think Backlash is an A tier. When they went to Puerto Rico, now this is not now that they're going out of state and out of the country. I think now Backlash is a good idea.
Which anytime they go out of the country, like they're going to go to was it
Saudi
France this year for Money in the Bank?
Yeah, but they're going to Australia for Elimination Chamber, and they're going to, I think, Puerto Rico again for Backlash.
Yeah, anytime they leave the United States, the crowds are amazing. I'm here for it.
It's hot.
Look,
They need to go to UK though.
I really enjoy Money in the Bank, but I don't put it as an A-tier pay-per-view though.
I like Money in the Bank. I liked it better though when it was a. Okay, here's something. I'll tell you this. I thought Money in the Bank when it was the opener for WrestleMania was the perfect spot for it to be.
Go ahead.
No, you go. You go.
No, I was just saying I enjoyed it when it was at WrestleMania, but WrestleMania has become such this big, huge, overblown thing. I do like the fact that Money in the Bank gets its own spotlight a few months later.
But think of the possibilities. Let's give an example. Let's say an Apollo Crews wins the Money in the Bank, right?
Right.
The same night. Say it's Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins. Or better yet, let's say Matt Cardona comes back to WWE, right?
Sure.
WrestleMania, surprise. Oh, there's one guy left.
Right.
Matt Cardona wins Money in the Bank. That night, the guy who's made he's the king of the indies. He is the death match king. Comes back to Monday Night Raw, or comes back to WrestleMania, wins Money in the Bank. That night, Seth Rollins is facing Drew McIntyre, or Seth Rollins is facing Gunther, whatever you want to say to it, right?
Right.
The main event night one. He cashes in night one. The guy who surprise entrance, no one knew he was going to be here.
Right.
It gives you so much more room for storytelling.
Yeah.
You say he when he left, he's barely an Intercontinental champion, barely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so much more room to do stuff with. Because Money in the Bank pay-per-view, it's not.
Which, since we're talking about it, when the hell is Damian Priest going to cash in?
I think he'll cash in at Backlash.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I think Backlash. I think Backlash when he'll cash in.
Okay, yeah.
It's not going to be Mania, because Mania is going to be Seth Rollins' crowning achievement, or it's going to be Drew McIntyre's crowning achievement. But I think in Puerto Rico, he'll cash in, and they'll probably drop the tag team straps.
Yeah.
And then it'll be maybe the world champion.
It's believable. That's just kind of like, it's become such an afterthought because he's held the briefcase for so long, and there's been so many of those. And one thing that hasn't changed with Triple H taking over of WWE is the sheer stupidity of people with briefcases not taking advantage of clear opportunities. Like when Seth Rollins was standing in the ring and could barely walk a couple of weeks ago. Why you don't come down there and take advantage of him then, I don't know.
Well, he did when he was facing Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
didn't Drew McIntyre's Claymore kick him in the face for trying to cash in?
But he's still in the midst of a match though. Like, cashing in when somebody's in the midst of a match is one thing. When he's literally out there telling you he's injured and can't wrestle, and not even in his wrestling gear, like, that's the time.
Kind of like Alberto Del Rio, or when CM Punk cashed in on Edge, the world title.
Yeah, I mean, those were like oh my God, he's injured, or because the when Edge, he got, was it Batista that beat him up, and he was just laid sprawled out, and then CM Punk
and Punk ran out.
Yeah, and Del Rio was selling the knee after that match, and
Ziggler can't cash in.
You want to talk
what
about
a pop? Exactly. Yeah.
That was the Nick Nemeth. Now, what a moment for him.
Man, I think him and I know this is aside from him here, but I think Nick Nemeth will be the next Drew McIntyre on the Indies. Or Drew Galloway back then. I think he has such a huge opportunity to show why he's the best in the world at professional wrestling.
I'm very, and look, I've loved him during his time in WWE, and one of the best workers and sellers ever.
Most underrated talent in the history of WWE.
I'm very excited because here's the thing. WWE has a very specific style of match that is a little more plotting, a little bit more slow, telling the story type of deal. I'm very interested to see him be able to fully embrace kind of that indie style of wrestling and just have banger matches everywhere.
I was surprised he didn't go to AEW and then tag team with his brother. That surprised me. I didn't think he was going to go to TNA.
Well, here's the thing: you go in TNA, you can work in AEW because they have crossover.
Yeah, but I think that Nick Nemeth could have been an AEW World Champion. I think he could have beat Samoa Joe for that world title.
There's no reason that he can't. I mean, it's not that door's not completely closed. He can still do that at some point.
Oh, you mean the Forbidden Door?
Door, that's right. Which, like, I think we're getting to the point where the freak out of those kind of things isn't going to be a thing anymore. Like WWE has fully embraced that TNA exists. Like they acknowledge AEW without outright acknowledging AEW. Like the days of Vince McMahon, like if you dare, reference any other wrestling company, I'll fire you. Those days are gone. Like, Michael Cole's talking about Ring of Honor and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and all that kind of stuff on commentary. Like things have changed.
PWG, man, we need to do like a tier list of PWG matches, man. I mean, the talent alone of PWG back in the day is the most underrated, like just monster shows that they had.
Yeah,
whether it be El Generico, Kevin Steen, Nick Mac James, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, like Samoa Joe. Yes. Oh yeah. Ricochet.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay. That awesome match they had.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just disgusting how good those matches were. And it was in the most shittiest ring, like the auditorium.
They're in a freaking high school gym in front of 20 people. That is independent wrestling to a T.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to dedicate an entire episode to obscure non-WWE promotions and events. But I think we're at a good stopping point for this one because, again, we still have more questions than answers that hopefully Triple H will answer here in a couple minutes. But I don't know. I'm excited. Whatever this ends up being, I think it's going to be a good story, and hopefully it culminates with Cody finally finishing the story at WrestleMania.
Do you have any predictions?
Oh gosh, man, it's so hard.
We got 3 minutes left. So you got predictions?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways they could go with this. I'll predict this. I think we do the tag team match on night one. I know you're not on board with that. I think, but just the way that Seth Rollins got involved with the brawl yesterday, I think you do a tag team match on night number one. I think you have both championship matches on night number two. Probably Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight. And then Cody finally finishes the story against Roman on night two in the main event.
I don't see it, man. I don't know how you can have a tag team. I agree. I agree with you. I'm not saying it's a bad prediction. I'm just saying out of all the talent they have on that roster now, you can't have just a throwaway tag team match the night one of WrestleMania.
But here's the thing: WrestleMania can be 15 hours long now. Nobody's stopping them.
I'm not saying you're wrong, brother. I'm just saying, like, think of it this way: if you think of night one last year, right?
Yeah.
That tag team match with Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Sammy and Kevin.
Yeah, it was perfect.
I think that tonight on SmackDown, what's going to come down to, Cody's going to slap the shit out of The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H is going to have like one of those old school WCW, I'm not with this guy kind of idea. It's going to be a swerve. Either Triple H is going to go, look, you might be my boss, you can kiss my ass, that kind of deal. Or it's going to be, Cody, you have to reconsider, or else they're going to say they fire him.
Yeah.
Or they're going to suspend him or some other bullshit it is. Like, and the night one, it will be either Seth Rollins against Gunther.
Ooh.
Or
you have my attention.
Well, I mean, like, you can't. I don't see them doing Drew again because Drew has had so many opportunities.
Yeah.
The freshest take would be Gunther.
Yeah.
Without Punk.
I think that would be a very fun match. I'll say that much.
It's gonna be brutal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hard match, or do a triple threat match with Gunther, Drew, and Seth.
Yeah.
That way, Seth is not taking all that damage in the match,
Right.
but he can still do a couple of cool things.
Right.
And then night 2 will be either a triple threat match, depending on how the night goes, or it will be special guest referee The Rock against Roman and Cody. I know that sounds so stupid. I know.
I didn't even consider a special guest referee. Now you're taking that in a whole nother direction.
Well, I'm just saying, like if they're going with a heel Rock, you know,
Yeah.
and if Rock can't have the match he wants to have, only thing he can do is what? It changes.
Well,
it's still the same ending, but it changes the story for Roman.
Can I add one little piece to that? He's a heel working as a special guest referee, but you can craft something like if you operate outside of the confines of fairness, you'll be removed from the board of WWE or whatever, just to add a little piece to where it's like he has to call it down the middle, like something there to add a little flair to it. Like, I think it's a good idea.
Like think this way, right? Like John Cena against Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan won his first world title.
Yeah.
I just see this going so many different ways for one outcome, and the only way it makes sense to going with the heel Rock instead of doing the between a Rock is going to be either special guest referee, a triple threat, or 2 nights. Cody faces The Rock night 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then whoever wins between Cody and The Rock faces Roman. There's no way you can have your cake and eat it too. I could think it was, again, with Daniel Bryan, Triple H. Yeah. If Triple H would have beat Daniel Bryan, he would have been the world title.
Right.
It would have been and it would have been the once in a lifetime opportunity between Evolution for the world title. There's so many different ways they can go about it. All I look forward to is tonight. We're running low on time. I want to say that whatever happens tonight is going to be the mindset the next 2 months of this whole shebang. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I've been TC.
I'm TH, and
this has been our experience. Thank y'all.
We'll experience it more next week. Thanks for listening.
Hey, boots.